Back in 2010, Kevin Durant tweeted a pretty cryptic tweet, something he does pretty often. Now everybody want to play for the Heat and the Lakers. Let's go back to being competitive and going at these peoples. Now at the time, people thought he was taking a shot at LeBron James. This was like a week after the decision. And if you remember, back then, 2010, that was before he jumped ship to the Warriors. People still really saw Kevin Durant as like a super loyal player. He was very well liked, well beloved. He was still with the Thunder. But he later clarified in interviews that he was actually referring to Penny Hardaway, who was like 40 years old at the time. I believe he said he wanted to play for the Heat after LeBron joined the Heat, and then Kevin Durant made this statement. Now nearly 15 years later, everything comes full circle again, because in KD's latest shoe, on the latest colorway, it does refer to Penny Hardaway and the Orlando Magic. Nike, KD 17, Penny. And this shoe is dropping on May 24th for $150. The second official colorway to drop for the KD 17s. And of course, it has that Orlando Magic colorway, a dedication and reference to Penny Hardaway. And my first impression of the shoe, just looking at it aesthetically, I'm not like in love with it. I haven't really loved the 16s or the 17s. Not a huge fan, but I will say it is growing on me. I think with the right colorway, this will look really nice, but I'm not personally a huge fan of the MX Plus. So I just don't really love that DNA on this shoe. And fun fact, if you didn't know, the MX Plus that was designed by Sean McDowell, it was inspired by seeing palm trees when he was standing in front of the sunset. There we go. It's decent, but not exactly my favorite. The colorway though, colorway is super nice. Super nice. That Orlando Magic colorway, that's always been one of my favorite. And tangent, remember the pinstripe Orlando Magic uniforms? Those are one of the best. And Penny Hardaway was one of the most fun players to watch. And the upper of the shoe, it is this textile material, and it feels very soft. No break in time required. And then around the toe box, you'll see this very thin strip over the toe area. And it's also lined with TPU patterns that really resembles the MX Plus. It is very obvious the DNA of the MX Plus on this shoe. And going up the tongue, KD's logo that's raised. And I will say this tongue is super soft, so it won't cut into your ankles. It's not like super stiff like 3M tongues are a lot of times. Super soft tongue. And then at the ankle collar, it is very synthetic leather. You can tell when you press down, there's no like natural wrinkles or anything, but it does have that synthetic texture to resemble real leather. And then moving on to the booty, you'll see Kevin Durant's signature. And this booty tab actually feels like synthetic nubuck with this Easy graphic that's extended from the outsole. And if you didn't know Kevin Durant's nickname, it is Easy Money Sniper. So that's a direct reference to that. And if you look at this midsole area on the lateral side, but you'll see the KD logo as well as swoosh and the words Easy, again all printed. And on the medial side of the shoe, it is white on white, but the same type of pattern. Really cool subtle look there. Now the KD 17 does come with a Cushlon midsole with an air strobel unit in the heel, and then a Zoom Air unit on the forefoot, as well as the shank plate on the forefoot. Very decent impact absorption, and this foam midsole just looks really nice. As someone that grew up playing in like denser Phylon, the cushioning on Cushlon or like modern day basketball shoes is just, it's almost like a luxury. The KD4 Weatherman did have a setup that I was used to and accustomed to growing up, but with my old and busted knees, I really do need better cushion shoes than those. You don't really feel the cushioning in those shoes, so this is decent for my knees. Now a lot of people did really like the full-length Zoom strobel unit that came with the KD 15s, 14s. They stopped with the KD 16s, which a lot of people were not happy about. And I will say I have to agree, but still, this cushioning, I think the absorption, the compression, it all feels really decent. And then this shoe comes with a rubber outsole, and the pattern of this outsole, it's more of that circular topography pattern. It's just very wide, and you'll see KD's logo again and that little cutout with Easy imprinted very subtly, and then the word 17. And the traction on the shoe, super nice, really nice. I played in the same gym that I did the KD4 Weatherman review, and that I had to wipe my shoes like all the time, every few minutes. This one, I wiped my shoes like twice the whole time I was there. Just really good traction, no complaints at all. I haven't used this shoe outdoors, but just judging from the rubber as well as the width of the traction, I'm gonna assume the traction for outdoor use is pretty good as well. Now in terms of overall support and lockdown, compared to the KD 16s, where you saw this TPU material extend all the way up, pretty much to the ankle collar. That was obviously for containment and lockdown purposes. This shoe has dialed it way back down, so apart from like the pattern, there's a very thin strip right above the midsole, so not as great as the KD16s. But I will say, if you just look at the width of the base of the shoe, they're slightly wider, so that is to minimize ankle roll. And when I was stopping, making hard, like sharp lateral movements, I really didn't feel too much ankle roll. Felt pretty stable from like left to right. But that leads me to probably my least favorite thing about this shoe, and it might be specific to my feet, and that is the overall sizing. So I am a wide and flat footer. So for this shoe, I just went true to size, 9.5. Width-wise, pretty much perfect. It doesn't have like super high arches where it digs into flat footer's arches, or where my arches should be. But I did feel a little bit of heel slippage. I felt that a bit with the KD16s as well. So the cushioning around the ankles, it feels pretty nice, almost like memory foam. But I kind of wish there was just a bit more. I really had to lace these shoes up super tight, and I was doing it quite often. So like unlacing and then tightening it up, and then double lacing and eventually come loose. And the heel slippage was a little too much for me, but I understand that I have pretty weird feet, super wide and flat. If I went down half a size, width-wise, it would have just really broken my feet. Overall, it is a pretty light shoe, but again, I grew up in an era where they were putting out LeBron 4s, which were like absolute bricks. So compared to that, anything's light, and I don't really need like a super light shoe. I kind of like feeling a little bit of weight to my basketball shoes, so I don't feel like I'm running in bare feet. But yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna complain about how heavy this shoe is. In the box of the shoe, there's patterns that resemble the outsole of the shoe with a raised swoosh, slightly raised, mistextured. It's pretty cool there. That easy graphic on the side of the box, Kevin Durant's signature, and the paper also has the KD logo printed all over. The KD17 is a decent shoe. It's not too different from the KD16s. Overall, I do prefer the look of the 17 over the 16s. Performance-wise, I really feel like they're pretty similar. Now, what's pretty awkward is Kevin Durant was actually pretty meh about the KD16s. So with the 17s being pretty similar, wonder what he thinks about it. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Soul Inclined. Let me know what you think of the Nike KD17 Penny. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.